What's up, everyone? It's Keyshawn Johnson here at the Fox Lot. We got a special show with some great LA sports legends, both from the basketball and the football side. Three of my closest friends in the industry. First up is one of the most electrifying deep threats in NFL history. He's a three-time Pro Bowler. He's an Eagles legend, and now he's the head coach of Delaware State, DeSean Jackson. Next up is a two-time NBA All-Star, a key player in the We Believe Warriors team, and one of the most dynamic point guards of his era, Baron Davis. And of course, a 2008 NBA Finals MVP. He's an NBA champion and a Hall of Famer. His nickname is The Truth, Paul Pierce. What's happening, bosses?
Man, sit your old ass down. Man, this is kind of lit, though.
I'm enjoying this moment.
This is kind of lit right here.
Enjoying the moment with my guys. So y'all want some tequila here?
What is this, though?
Man, that's the Manhattan, man. That's tequila.
Man, I'm going to start coughing and choking.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I'm already intimidated.
No, you good, man. Sip. Come on, man. For your guy, man. Come on, man.
One time for you.
You got it,
y'all
man.
seeing this, right?
Damn.
See?
Oh, man, that's water. You just had that with me last night. So look, to all y'all, man, growing up here in Los Angeles is such a unique experience. You know, we all grew up in LA, the surrounding areas. How did it just shape y'all for where y'all wind up in terms of professional athletes, BD?
Me, South Central Los Angeles, East Side. I always say I grew up in a neighborhood that had invisible barriers. You know what I mean? And it took somebody like guardian angels to kind of watch out for us. My life attached to P, Inglewood Y to K-Swiss AAU. So I had somebody that was already in front of me that was even more serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More talented. So he was always a guiding sword and a guiding light for what we was doing in LA. But, I think it's just the community, the environment, and wanting to get out, right? It's wanting to get out and see other kids, want to get out and play against other neighborhoods, but you confined to them invisible lines. So it just forced me to imagine shit, work on my craft. And I think that's ultimately what kept me away from a lot of, the negativity.
What about you, DeSean? How did it shape you with the gang culture and just everything that you had the opportunity to see growing up in junior high and high school before you went to Cal?
I mean, for me, I think being able to grow up in the areas I grew up in, the things I saw as a young kid, obviously South Central baby myself too, grew up in Inglewood when I was younger, moved to South Central. I think for me, honestly, to make it up out of LA, man, you could go across the world and feel like you could be implemented anywhere. And I think me was just the surroundings, the people I was around, and I was a young dude that was in the streets hanging out, but I was always good in sports. So the older homies was like, man, you too good for this. Stay away from this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was able to have them barriers around me where my dad was tripping. If you let him gangbang, you put him on, I'm gonna kill all y'all. My pops was one of them pops. Cause my pops wasn't from LA. He was from Pittsburgh. So, in Pittsburgh, they didn't gangbang, but they had the culture where they were street dudes, but they didn't understand the gangbanging culture. So he used to always threat dudes if y'all let my son get put on, I'm killing all y'all dudes. So I think the hood just you really had my back, but it wasn't really tripping off of me participating and doing certain things because I was an athlete.
Growing up in LA, we all came into the celebrity world, whatever you want to call it, rappers, entertainers, anything like that. But you, DeSean, you had a special relationship with Nipsey Hussle for about 15 plus years.
Right.
Growing up in LA. Tell us a little bit about that friendship.
Man, shit, Nip, I could go back, man, when we was young. So I'll say back in middle school, man, when Nip had the curly hair, pretty boy. I mean, before he had the long hair, Nipsey was always a hustler. And that's the reason why he got the name. I remember we was at middle school and, he used to come to school with candy and blow pops and juices, red vines, hustling.
I used to do that too.
I used to do that too. He ain't coming home, he ain't got no money. You can't ask your mama for money. You gotta go hustle. But I think that just the relationship with Nip, man, Nip was different, man. You could tell at a young age. And it's crazy because we both grew up in South Central, the Murray Park. He was off of Slauson and Crenshaw. I was off of Vernon and Crenshaw. But just to be so close to each other and, you know, for him out of his section, out of his hood, and me out of my section, my hood, like, to be a rapper and an athlete, like, you know, we the biggest of the biggest to come out around our area and our section. So, like, we was able to build a relationship, you know, and I seen his growth early on, man. A lot of people, like, I remember even Nip back in 2003, he used to tell me about Bitcoin. And when I tell you Bitcoin back then was probably like $60, $80, like a couple $100. It was nothing crazy. And then in 2011, it started going like 3,000. And like I would just see, like, I'm like, Nip just knew about certain things because, you know, it's people from Africa, they Eritrean. So, you know, Nip knew about everything that like people didn't know, bro. Like we used to go to a food and eat. He's like, man, come check this food out. I'm like, this shit was fire. So like, just Nip had that, it sounded like, man, he's gonna go over there and chill. But nah, Nip was a real one, man, for sure. Rest in peace, my brother Nip.
What did it do for you, Paul, coming from Inglewood all the way to Kansas?
It really like kind of like shaped my mentality. It shaped my attitude because like, I mean, we grew up in the era and it's different now because I see how my kids are and how they go to school. Like we always grew up on like being tough. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you had an older brother or an older dude in the neighborhood, you know, like, they gonna look at you and you gonna get tested at some point.
At some point.
Like at some point growing up, you gonna get tested and they gonna be like trying to see if you tough. So it was crazy, you know, me being a big kid for my age, you know, I'm over here running into cats that's like 3-4 years older than me. You know, so it's, you know, I might be like 12, but I'm matching up with a 16-year-old who like way more mature, way more street savvy than me. And I'm like, damn, so, you know, you learn your lessons early because the streets will shape you, and you have to grow up fast. You got to learn when to run, too. I have to run a lot. You know?
That's why I'm so fast. Like, always get up out of there.
You gotta know where to sit, bro.
Unpredictable situations. There's too many of y'all. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
So you stayed here and went to this other school, UCLA, instead of fleeing like Paul.
I had to get out.
Fleeing like Paul to Kansas or some other place. What made you say, oh, I'm just gonna stay at home?
It was a responsibility thing.
Yeah.
I think for me, had I went to Duke or if I went to Kansas, I wanted to go to Kansas too with P. But it was like, damn, all the little, like we got a wave coming. You know what I mean? We got a whole generation of like these young hoopers, Pooh Jeter, Russ, James. You know what I mean? I'm in the gym watching them, going to their games. And so our basketball community was building. For me going to UCLA, I was like, fuck it. I have a responsibility, a greater responsibility for them dudes to keep being able to come to the game.
Yeah.
If I go to Kansas, they may or may not be able to access UCLA like that. So let me stay home so the homies can be in the gym.
Damn,
they can come to the game.
Getting on that great dog would have been a long trip to get to Kansas.
Oh, man.
So I'm going to explain.
He was my host on my visit.
Yeah. So my journey to Kansas was strictly, I could not be in LA.
No.
Yeah, I get it.
No way.
Like,
he was too big. He was too big a star.
No, because it was just like I saw my senior year how it went, and you know when you get to senior year, you only got a couple classes, so you done at 12.
Yeah.
Now I'm out of school, moving around too much, getting in too much trouble, bro. And I was just like about to fail out my senior year, and I was like, you know what? Minister Society was a big influence. When Chauncey said he going to Kansas, I was like, he going to Kansas too. But anyway, I think that's interesting listening to BD because I wonder how that was. Like my question to you, and I think I always want to ask you this, like how was that pressure of, you know, being the best player out of California and then staying at home where all your family and friends was?
For some strange reason, I was just like, man, I want to put LA on the map. I was just so focused on like, man, everybody leaving, fuck it, I'ma stay. I want to build a legacy here. When I leave UCLA, I want to live here. So any pressure from like the hood, parents, teachers, everybody wanted tickets, I can get them tickets.
Yeah.
Man,
you know what I mean? I had UCLA cracking, so I can get them tickets. Now, as far as like the street stuff and shit, you know, we in college, and so it was like, you know, my college homeboys, they got a chance to experience a lot, a lot of that shit just going out and being with me. But it was also like being at UCLA, I was in another city, bro.
Right, on campus.
So I didn't have to go home. You know what I mean?
What UCLA and Westwood look like compared to Manchester and motherfucking Avalon.
Yeah, so you only getting a taste like you go to the Roxy. I remember we had a birthday party at the Roxy. It was a shootout at the Roxy, you know, and for me, that's normal. You know, that's normal. Remember you was at my draft party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keyshawn came to the draft party, dog. We shut down the whole Sunset, all the way where Boosie Bellows, Bowen, all that was shut down, bro.
No,
You was there too.
It was at the Roxy, right?
It was at where Boosie Bellows was.
Oh, it was at the.
No, it was at Bar 1.
Yeah.
It was at Bar 1. That's it.
The whole
Boosie
block
Bella
shut
is
down,
now.
bro. Everybody from every hood.
I was there too.
What year was that? 99?
99. But I had so many homies that was from different hoods. And
Same.
basketball was like our connective tissue because we all played on the same AAU team.
Yeah,
so you got dudes from like, nobody was tripping on each other.
Right. When I went to SC, I was just like, whatever. I grew up across the street from there. I wasn't worried about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the streets and shit, because I grew up basically at USC in the fruits with all my blood homies and family members. So I was like, cool, and it was just, it was a celebration, basically.
Yeah.
Like you said, opening up the door for other dudes, opportunities for them to be able to see some stuff that they ain't never seen before.
Yeah.
And I could always cheat the game and go home and get a meal, you know, from my mom or auntie or something like that. So it was a little bit, it was stressful, but at the same time, it worked out the way that it needed to.
Yeah.
You know, D-Jack, you wind up basically decommitting from USC and going to Cal. What took you to Cal?
USC. Hey, USC. Why you want to go to USC?
Because he was supposed to come to SC.
That's why he decommitted. He got there and was like, this ain't no real school.
This was the issue.
No, hell no, we was winning national championships.
You know, they did, because Reggie Bush and them, they had one national championship. That was 2005. But I kind of feel like P, like I couldn't stay home in LA. I couldn't. I mean, you grew up in the fruits. I grew up in the 40s. The 40s is right across the street. So I feel like in my mind, if I stayed home in LA, the temptation of the hood was gonna be right there with me. I needed to get away from the hood.
Hey, target.
And and my dad was smart. My dad was like, he already knew the street shit I was getting to. He was like, I'm not even gonna let you go to Crenshaw. I ain't gonna let you go to Westchester, because Venice was cracking around the time I was coming out too. He said, you going to Long Beach. So my dad was smart, because he already knew when I was young, I was hanging out on the streets. He was like, man, we going to Poly. So I went to Long Beach. So in the midst of me going to Long Beach Poly, I won California Player of the Year in 2005. And I remember Pete Carroll, they offered me like, oh, we want you. And then they give Patrick Turner my number. How you get a dude from, how you get somebody from out of state my number? So I took that shit personal. So I'm like, I'm going. I'm not staying at SC. I'm
what y'all do. That's
Patrick Turner.
Exactly.
DeSean Jackson.
That's
exactly.
what y'all do.
And y'all gave an out-of-towner my number. So I'm like, you know what? And that's the year, like a year before that, Aaron Rodgers, Marshawn Lynch, they beat SC here at home. So I'm like, you know what? I'm about to go rock with Aaron Rodgers, bro. But I mean, that was really my thing, bro. I couldn't stay here in LA,
I didn't know you played with Aaron Rodgers in college.
He left as a junior. I was supposed to play with him, but when I committed, he left that year and he went to the NFL. But I played with Marshawn.
When did y'all first start hearing about each other? You know, who's the man, who's not? Because me, you know, I grew up Shea Cotton, you know, those type of dudes. Obviously, I saw Barron play at the Martin Luther King Pauley Pavilion. Yeah. Was it Martin Luther King Invitation?
Invitation.
So that's the first time I saw Barron play. When did y'all start hearing about each other?
Me and Barron been knowing each other. I met Barron when he was like a 5th or 6th grader at Inglewood Y.
Yeah.
So like I was on the junior high squad, and I would come early, and he was playing, and I looked like, God damn, he was dominant. He was dominant. He was like I mean, it wasn't even close, because Inglewood Y was every Saturday.
Yeah.
So he was the littlest kid on the court, but he was like a baby Iverson at the time. Dog.
See, that's what when I went to see him play. That's what I told you, Paul. When I saw him play, when I was with Jerome, we sat on the first row. Jerome telling me, he's like, man, he gonna be a top 3 pick. Man, that dude 5'9". Man, I don't want to hear that
exactly.
shit.
He was the shortest. He was little, right?
Jerome was telling me this, and I'm sitting there at the game, courtside, and he telling me. And I'm like, man, they miss me with that shit.
Right. So, like, that's how far I relate. So, like, I told my coach, my AAU coach, like, hey, you got to come see this kid.
Yeah.
We need a point guard. And he was younger than us, but I was like, this dude could start on the junior high team as a 5th, 6th grader.
Shout out to Aaron Jones.
Yeah, so he come and see him.
I didn't know y'all played for Harold.
Yeah, so he got on with us. I was like, this kid is killer, because we didn't have no point guard. So I was like, look, just come look at this kid. It's like unbelievable. Like he was better than me. Like truthfully, I wasn't even getting no minutes, but I was the biggest dude on the team.
He was cute.
I was the biggest dude on the team.
He was nice. He was nice.
I was cool.
He was
but,
just,
you know, it took a while.
He just like, he was one of those kids that like
I was
didn't
big,
understand how good he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
at the
like,
time.
Like P was good, but he wasn't like, he didn't have a
Let
motor.
me tell you about this. Like, the best player in YMCA history is Andre Miller.
Period. Hey, bro.
Andre
He
Miller.
averaged a quadruple double.
He won the championship every year. Like, no, he was the most from 7th grade all the way until we played Y until all the way to
he
the
brought
senior.
all the Watts to the Inglewood Y.
Man, what?
Hey, it was a whole
we had so
team.
many
He was
pros
sick.
at the Y. Me, him, Andre Miller,
Milt
Jason Hart,
Palacio.
Milt Palacio all played at the Inglewood
Yep.
Y, bro. We all knew each other. That's crazy.
When did you learn about them, DeSean?
So I would say BD, obviously. My dad knew BD.
That was my OG.
And my pops, Bill Jack, man. My pops was like the agent in LA, man.
That's
It's like
my dog.
everybody knew Bill Jack. So for me, I mean, obviously, the crossroads. I mean, I'm a lot younger than y'all.
Yeah.
You know, but for me, like growing up, obviously, Paul, you know, me being a Laker fan, him being an LA dude, then he going and beating up on us. You know what I'm saying?
One championship, ain't no beat up.
Hey, but
1-1. 1-1.
1-1. Nah, but honestly, growing up in LA, I mean, you know, y'all my era for real. I mean, it ain't too many guys that you can say besides y'all that's like, you know, that's legends. So
Shout out to your pops, though, bro.
Yeah,
Your pops, man, we used to be sitting playing dominoes. He'd be like, BD, you ain't the only pro. You ain't the only one going pro. I'm telling you, watch my son.
Man, they
it was like,
documented
yo, we was like,
everything
Lil D Jack. Everybody, like.
Man, Bill documented everything since he was a pup.
Byron came by early on, documentary. I was like, man, this dude is crazy. Like, this kid is crazy. But to see, like, Long Beach, know you from LA, just to know your story, to know you, and to love your dad, you know what I mean? Like, half of you, and like how you took that shit, man, that confidence, and just like nobody could fuck with you. You know what I mean? It was like in that mentality, I think like it was really like you embody all of LA.
When you talk about LA sports, obviously you're gonna hear basketball, football, and we can say eras are all time, but like when you think about football, who you feel like is the best to come out of LA? And then when we talk about basketball, and I know it's a lot of names you could throw, but if we talk about that, like who would you say is some names? It could be, just say you name a couple names. For basketball, I know it's,
I call it like this.
For me.
Let's start with basketball.
I didn't see Keyshawn, and obviously he went on to have a stellar college and #1 pick and all that, but for me, the greatest athlete I've ever seen was Stace Bozeman. He played basketball and football.
He was everything, bro.
State in both.
Hey, bro, he was everything, bro.
He older than you? Stace Bozeman.
Nowhere close.
6'3".
Yep, 6'3",
6'2" and some change. Could have been Vince Young, or could have been Keyshawn Johnson, or could have been Ronnie Lott,
or Charles Woodson.
or Charles Wood. Like, he could have done a lot
What
of.
happened to him?
He played basketball.
He should have played football.
You know, every year I used to go tell him at SC, I'm like, man, you gotta come out the spring, you good. And he go meet with the coaches.
And they wouldn't let him.
No, they would let him, but then he just go back to playing basketball.
I always say P is the greatest to come out of LA because he a Hall of Famer.
Look how he
He a
lived.
champion.
No,
you know what I mean?
I'm trying to think.
Because he a champion in high school?
No.
Or you talking about
he the only one.
NBA?
He a champion.
He the only one.
He a Hall of Famer, bro.
Right.
He
the
killed
only
in
one.
college. He a McDonald's All-American.
You went in college too?
You know what I mean?
At Kansas, you won a championship?
Nah.
We got upset.
No, he went to
I was on
Kansas
the
for the
#1.
money.
No, I was on the #1 team in the nation for like a couple of years. We got upset every year.
He gotta be number
he went
one.
for the
You
money.
know what I mean?
Basketball?
He gotta be number
I was
one.
All-American
And
in
then,
high school.
you know,
I was
the
first
young
team
dudes was
All-American
coming.
in college too, though.
He, based on start to finish,
Yeah.
He's the
number
one.
uno.
What you get in the league? How many years?
25?
No, I played. I would say like Washington would be
17?
my last year, so I would be like
18?
16. I don't count the last two.
25?
Brooklyn was his last time.
I remember.
No, Washington, bro.
Brooklyn, why you?
Clippers.
I called game in Washington, bro.
You called game in
not
Washington.
Yeah.
Coach at the Clippers.
I was coaching the Clippers.
It was coaching.
That
He was
Negro,
playing coach with the
Yeah, I was
Clippers.
playing coach with the
stealing
Clippers.
money
What
from
year was
Donald
Washington?
Sterling.
So I went to Washington.
He wasn't even trying to get in when he played with the
2015.
Clippers.
15? So you
I was trying to go on the road.
He was like, oh, he was like, I'm cool.
I did 2 years in Clippers, sat on the bench and just worked out the young boys. And I was home, so I was just establishing home before I
DJ?
retired.
He was weak in Brooklyn.
He was weak.
No,
got
he was
benched.
cool.
No, don't say I was not weak. I was not weak in Brooklyn.
He was cool in Brooklyn.
He got
I was
benched.
cool in
Why he
Brooklyn.
doing you like
Jay Kidd benched him.
Yeah, man.
Did he bench you though?
He did. We had an issue.
I don't
know
remember
how
that.
he know this.
I don't
No, so you don't remember this, right?
I'm crying,
Look, no, he did bench me. I was so hot. I was so hot at Jay Kidd. I was hot at Jay Kidd from training camp, though.
But that's a hate move, though. You know that?
No, but look,
That was a hate move.
no, look.
That's diabolical.
I don't know how you know that.
Everybody in here had some sort of relationship with Kobe Bryant, right? Obviously, one, if not the greatest Los Angeles Laker of all times. You and I, Paul, lived in a neighborhood where, unfortunately, he had his crash site that took the lives of many people and whatnot. What do you remember most about Kobe and his playing days, and not just you playing against him, but just the influence he had on the game?
My first time meeting Kobe was at the Forum when he first got drafted. He was shooting a commercial. And that was my first run-in with him. And my second run-in with him, this one I knew he was different. So you remember the Midnight Magic? The Magic stuff, right? So Magic would throw the weekend, and Kobe was there when he first got drafted. So he in the party. You get dressed up for Magic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he in there with a sweatsuit. So I look, so say like this the spot, or the event, the club, whatever we was at. We over here like this. I see he over in the corner. So I go over to him like, what's up, what you doing? Why don't you come hang out? He was like, no, I'm just chilling, just be careful out here, Paul. It's like he said that to me, right? I grew up here. I'm older than him. He telling me to be careful.
He just looked at him.
He just looked at him. I was like, all right, you got it, man. So it was just like he was mature beyond his age, and he was like locked in, even at a young, locked in all the time, man. And I tell people the one commercial shoot we shot, I'm shooting a scene with him. And I always tell this story, and I'm like, all right, the scene is like, all right, we're gonna let you get the ball, make some moves against Kobe, then shoot. Okay, we did commercials, all of us.
Yeah.
So I'm dribbling, going through the motions. He's just knocking the ball out of my hand, and I'm looking like, all right, whatever. So I do it again. He knock it, and I'm listening like, hold on, he trying to take this shit serious. So now we in a damn near full, like, you gotta be on some ones. Like, it's a commercial, dog. I'm like that. And that's why I was like, man, he different, bro. He taking the commercial serious. He's trying to check up right now. And I was like, damn.
That commercial going to the whole
I was
world.
like, damn.
What type of interaction you had with him, DJ?
Oh, man, so I say my first interaction with Kobe, obviously he was a diehard Eagle fan, and I didn't know that. So me growing up in LA, I'm a diehard. There's three people when you say their names, I go crazy about. Kobe, Michael Vick, and AI. Them three is, like who I kind of implemented and took after as far as my game. So when I found out he was an Eagle fan, like it let me know. I'm like, damn, Kobe Bryant know DeSean Jackson? Like, to me, that was like all I ever need to know. But I think his just Mamba mentality, man, like his fearful, his dog mentality, like that's kind of, me, I'm smaller. Like you a big receiver. Like I feel like me being 5'11", 5'10", whatever you want to call it, and being shorter than the average receiver, like my heart and my mentality has got me to where I'm at in my career. So I just took upon like just knowing that if you a dog, no matter how big you are, your heart, nobody can measure your heart. So, that's one of them situations where Kobe being a fan of me was like, that's all I ever need to know.
Kobe was too sophisticated for college. He was smarter than any coach. When I met him, he was smarter than all our coaches.
You talk about smarter.
He was locked in, dog.
Man, it was crazy.
That's all he did.
My first interaction with him was in '96. So we both signed with Adidas and Sonny Vaccaro, whatever. He recruited us both for #1 picks. You know, Sonny had his pocket, had my pocket, whatever, to get to do things. So when he got drafted, he wanted to come. I was in New York, and we wanted to go to the club or whatever. But he was 18. He had like a damn student ID. I couldn't get him in the club. I was, you know. So then we have to fly up to Portland, Oregon together. So we on the plane flying to Portland, Oregon. And you know how they always got you, they want you to sign something.
Yeah.
Here's some balls, and before you land, we did. But so I'm signing my name, and I'm signing Keyshawn Johnson, #3. Keyshawn Johnson, #3. Keyshawn Johnson, #3. Kobe just signing Kobe 8. And I looked over, motherfucker was done. And I'm probably a quarter of the way through. Right? So I'm like, I'm saying to myself, how you finish that? So I said, man, what you do? So he gonna show me today, right? He say, let me see your autograph. He said, well, here's the problem. You got your whole damn last name, your first name, your number. He goes, there's only one Keyshawn, just like it's only one Kobe.
Yeah.
I changed my signature because of him to just Keyshawn and whatever my number was.
Yeah.
Instead of my whole first and last name, because he was just hit Kobe 8. And he was done. I was like, and so when you talk about way advanced ahead of the game,
he was already
he was so
there.
far way ahead of the game, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy as all outdoors, man. But it's, you know.
I remember he came to UCLA during the lockout when we was playing at UCLA. I had just hurt my knee, and, you know, I can only practice
rookie year.
until rookie year.
Yeah.
So we in practice and shit, and I'm just coming back from my knee surgery, so I can only do certain scrimmages and shit like that. So Kobe walked in like 8:30, right when practice supposed to be over. We got a night practice. So, you know, everybody, oh, what's up, Kobe? You know, but we practicing, then coach started, you know, overdoing it. Kobe sneaked behind me. I'm on the bike. J.R. Henderson right here, he over there shooting. I said, man, let me go rebound for Kobe. Man, I go over there, start rebounding for him, talking to him. Then I start rebounding and, you know, give him a light closeout.
A light closeout. Right.
You know,
Right.
You know what I mean? He just,
Right.
You know, then it turned into boom, and I hit him one time. Okay. Dog, we went in a full-on one-on-one, dog. Man, every time I saw Kobe, I was like, bro, I need that one-on-one fade back. The only reason why you beat me, because I was hurt. But we was going at it. We looked up the whole practice and stopped and was watching this play one-on-one.
Wow.
And I was like, man, that was my moment. I had him, and then he started backing me down and shit.
So y'all grew up, everybody grew up in L.A., though, so did y'all have posters on the walls, other than just me, on y'all wall and shit like that growing up in L.A., but did y'all have, like, posters of players and shit?
Yeah.
Who did you have, Paul?
I had a Jordan poster. I had a Charles Barkley poster. I had a Shaq poster. I had a Magic poster up. And I had a Dominique Wilkins poster up. Those all up at the same time.
But no L.A. dudes?
Magic.
Oh, Magic.
Yeah, Magic, Jordan, Dominique, Shaq, and Barkley.
What you had? You had anything, Jack?
You was on my wall at SC for sure. I had you up there. I had Randy Moss up there. You know, I had some females on my wall too. You know, I can't have all y'all dudes up there.
Tyra
Holly
Banks.
Berry or some shit.
Tyra Banks. Everybody had her.
No, you had Holly Berry.
I had Heidi Berry.
Holly
Banks.
Nah, he in the era.
Me alone.
Neil Law.
Yeah, for sure. I already know.
He in the era. He in the era.
No,
with
he
all
had
that.
all
Hey,
them.
no, I had some Joyce up there. I go Jennifer Lopez.
You probably
J-Lo
had
was up
Sinai
there.
up there. You probably had all them.
He think he know
Dog,
everything.
yeah, he had
That
all
was on your wall too.
He had the
No, I
word
ain't had
up.
no wall. I just know.
All right.
I ain't had no wall. I just know. I
No
can't put him up in
posters.
the living room.
You ain't had none?
No, I ain't even have a room, bro. So I
Yeah.
had basketball cards. I had these basketball cards, and I would just play with my basketball cards, read the back, compare dudes to each other. And then my sister, she took a picture with a Isaiah Thomas carve-out, a Polaroid. And she told me she met Isaiah Thomas. But when you look at the Polaroid, it looked like she really met Isaiah Thomas. Now it's a cutout.
For real.
So I had that. That was the only picture that I had because I was obsessed with Isaiah Thomas growing up. But I thought she had really took a picture of the real Isaiah Thomas.
So when you look back on y'all draft days and the draft day parties, It's so crazy because all of us sitting here have been pictured with Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
You do know that, right?
Yep.
Every last one of us sitting here, we got pictures with Snoop. Somewhere doing something.
So
So the first opportunity I had was at my draft party in '96. When I got drafted, I had the House of Blues party, whatever. It was,
Cracking.
man, it's the greatest party ever in the history of drafts. I don't want to gloat on it, but yeah, it was ridiculous.
cracking.
Do you remember House of Blues on Sunset?
Sure.
Packed to the rim.
Yeah.
To the point where it was 2,000 people estimate in the streets of Sunset.
Damn.
From La Cienega down to damn Crescent Heights.
Yeah, I was trying to outdo his shit because maybe he was in a barbershop talking that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm gonna outdo this pool party. His shit was cracking.
Yeah.
Packed.
man,
So
city out
from
there.
anybody from Tupac, Snoop, Death Row, Ice Cube, just everybody.
Yeah.
Jim Hill, you name it, everybody was there. But it was just a celebration because as growing up in LA, in South Central LA especially, when you get drafted, everybody gets
Everybody,
drafted.
for sure.
Everybody got drafted in Inglewood. Everybody got drafted in South Central.
yeah, for sure.
Everybody got drafted.
For sure.
They,
For sure.
that's what it was.
For sure.
It's just everybody.
They thinking
got
that 100 million. Oh, you got 100 million when they ain't win the question. No, it ain't 100 million.
No, it
It's
ain't
something
100.
about 40.
But it's just the celebration. You got to think being #1 picks and second-round picks.
Sure.
And there was a high draft picks.
Yeah.
100%.
Motherfuckers going in the top 10. It's unheard of.
I was telling you, Key is the only #1 pick ever out of LA.
Is it number 3? 3 overall? What was your overall?
The number one
number
pick.
Man, if I
overall?
would win
He
any
was
fucking
one.
higher, they'd have to put me on Lelway.
I remember you went to
He the only
Jets.
#1
I
pick.
ain't-
#1,
out of
bro.
LA.
Overall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number
know,
one
Steve.
pick.
#1 pick. The only one ever out of LA in both sports.
What
huh?
year was that?
Crazy.
96?
See, I was
BD,
10
what
years
you
old.
went,
I was
two?
young,
I
yeah.
went 3.
You went 3. Where'd you go, Jack?
I went 49.
But as far as I tell,
They hated on me, though.
Yeah.
as far as I can say,
They hated on me
whether
too,
you went
dog.
49,
Yeah.
3,
It
was a
10,
celebration.
that shit's the same thing
Yeah, for
as
sure.
one.
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
difference is one is it's just the #1 overall pick. That's the only difference.
No,
No,
definitely.
but you was cracking though. You set a standard of
For
like
sure.
how to
For
move.
sure.
You said from LA, you said he's the only #1.
Ever out of
and,
LA.
out of-
and,
That's
he
crazy.
from LA, so
Yeah, and he
you
from
get
here.
you
Like, I
you
don't
got
know
both
nobody
sides.
went #1.
You got
Yeah,
the
no, I get it.
celebrity.
No, I get all
you
that.
at the restaurant. Hey, dog, remember he
get all
had the
that.
restaurant
Yeah.
and he wouldn't let no black people in.
What did he say? Hold on.
You don't stop that shit.
That sound right. That sound about right. That sound about right.
Hey, he had a restaurant.
No.
Hey, you can't get in.
I remember his
he can
restaurant.
get in.
I was getting in. No, he was acting like that. He right. He right.
Hey, bro.
I
I
think
turned
he
down
did.
my draft
Hold on.
party
But he was
at
right,
his
though, bro.
restaurant.
Hold on.
He said,
No, hold on,
it's going to
man,
be
hold
too
on.
many
Hold on.
gang
No,
members.
hold on.
I'm not giving my shot
No, we
back.
gonna hold on.
Hey, that's him right
We
now.
gonna
Hey,
gonna
bro.
dispel
Hey,
this
no,
notion.
sorry. It was the upper echelon of black people. You had to dress up.
Yeah,
but
we gonna dispel this.
Hey, he was
No,
not
it was cracking, though. His
fucking with
restaurant was
none of
cracking.
us.
What was it?
No, I wasn't fucking with you.
What was
You
it?
not
Hey,
coming to my
DJ,
shit looking like
DJ,
that.
hey,
What was it? I remember though.
Hey,
What was it?
Leo.
right in
Beverly
Beverly
Hills.
Hills.
No, Jack.
Hey,
No,
DJ,
look.
you like Keyshawn? Let
We had the
me
most
get a
cracking
reservation.
restaurant.
No.
Look,
Hey, bro, I'm outside dressed up. No.
You know how cold the establishment used to be though?
Hey, bro,
Standing room only. Not only standing room only. I remember
Yeah, I used to be in that.
couple celebrities. I remember when
That's
Russell Simmons tried to come. And you know how Russ never dressed up.
Yeah.
They let him
They
in.
called me. I was in New York. They said, Russell Simmons at the door, man. He want to get in. He got on, I said, what he dressed like? He said he got on tennis shoes. He got on jeans and a t-shirt or whatever.
I'ma tell
You know
where
what I
you got
told him?
this from, bro.
I told my dude, I said, man, you couldn't get a hold of me.
That's crazy.
Get on me. It's
Russ
crazy.
Simmons, the culture.
You ain't even
He
talking
the
But I
leader.
got Magic in that motherfucker three-piece suit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He three-piece
Yeah,
down.
no, for sure.
I got
We was young,
I
bro.
got
we was young.
Stephen A. coming in. He three-piece suit down.
Right.
I'm just saying. They dressed.
Yeah,
Nah, this
yeah,
wasn't
no,
the
they-
I
Stephen
got
A.
Robert
this
De
wasn't the
Niro
Stephen A.
sitting upstairs
era.
dressed. If Robert De Niro can dress up, how come you
No,
can't?
but he was
when I
let
was
me,
dressed up and I tried to get in.
You still couldn't get in? Hold on, no, don't do that.
That's what I'm
You still
saying, bro.
couldn't Get that.
Hey,
Don't listen to
hey,
BD.
hey,
BD lying now.
He was like, I know BD, I know who he coming with. No,
Damn.
no.
Tell you, right.
He already know he was bringing.
Hey, and everybody hit me. Hey, it's
You know what
cracking
he
in here.
He
Hey,
ain't
bring a
lying.
suit.
Let me
Hey,
bring
he
it
ain't
like-
lying.
like
He ain't
that.
lying
Yeah,
about. He ain't lying
Yeah,
about
what's
bouginess.
No, but
Bougie
no,
was on another level.
No,
Yeah,
it
the
ain't
homies
even
with
like
you.
Jack. So like our era, the era right before you, that's how all the clubs was at the time.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
Like you couldn't get into like the gate without being dressed up. You couldn't get in the Garden of Eden. I remember I was at the front one time, Key, I don't know if Key remember this. We was at the gate. Me and Key, we wasn't dressed up. They
wouldn't let us in.
Me and Key standing there couldn't get in.
Couldn't get in. They wouldn't let us in.
It's me and Keyshawn, Paul Pierce and Keyshawn Johnson from here can't get in. It was like that.
That's how it was.
That's how it was.
You have to dress up, and when I bring the homies, they was dressed up, and you would still look at them and be like, no.
Because we
know what they on. We know what they on.
Gave them the mouth.
Dickies, chucks on, rag in their pocket.
It looked like it's a funeral, a hood
Right.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
I can't have y'all up in there with Cortez's on, Air Force Ones.
No, we
Holy
came with the
jeans. fedoras.
We had the fedoras.
MJ got in with no problem. Michael, Dion, all them got in.
Hey, D-Jack, you see how he was? He just set the standard. He was
you
celebrity,
you know what he was doing? He was
entertainment.
kicking y'all out of there.
Like, you couldn't get mad at him because he a hood dude, and he want to fight. So you just be like, all right.
Right.
That's what Keyshawn
Nah, man, we all good, man. Y'all can get in next time I open a new one.
Damn, we old.
I'm dressing up now.
Oh, it ain't gonna be the
Shit,
same.
I'm
the
on
vibes ain't gonna be the same. The vibes ain't the same.
Hey, D-Jack, outside of me watching you not be able to sit down and cover two and get your head knocked off when you was with the Eagles, remember that? You shot lacrosse, you sat down, you didn't sit
You
down?
wasn't supposed to throw that shit. What you
Of
talking?
course he wasn't, but you were supposed to sit down, right? You didn't quite sit. He threw it, damn near ended your career. What was your welcome to the NFL moment? It couldn't have been that one.
No, I was, you remember Fletcher, London Fletcher.
London Fletcher.
Ooh.
London Fletcher, when I tell you I was a rookie, we was playing, we was in Philly, and that little dude was like a bowling ball, man. He was sitting in his linebacker position because he was middle linebacker. Domin Nad had threw me like a little quick slant, bro. When I caught the slant, I turned around, he was right there. When I met, full at him, steam on, boom. I don't even remember how. All I remember, I got to the sideline, I seen birds, whistles, stars.
And this was it was no
Bro,
concussion.
it was no
protocol.
concussion protocols. They ain't asked nothing. When I tell you, bro, I probably missed about like 2 drives, 2 series. I came back in there. I said, I am staying away from that dude right there. I don't want no parts. I don't care what you say. I ain't no buster, but I'm staying away from the buddy right there.
.com. That was his nickname. We played him when I was in Tampa.
Yeah.
He was offline though. He wasn't online.
He wasn't online.
He tore his ass up. No, London
That was
Fletcher
the young.
No, he was cool though. He was with the Rams, and we was having our way with him. And you know me, I'm stupid. I said to him, I said, "You offline today, huh?"
Yeah.
Because he called nickname online at .com or some shit like that. What about you, Paul?
My welcome to the league moment was, I think, like, Grant Hill must have gave me damn near 40 my rookie year. And I was just like, and I looked up to Grant Hill, too. Like, he was one of my favorite players.
He like 40.
And I tell you, like, watching it on TV and being in it, it's like the difference between being in a flight simulator and actually flying the motherfucking plane. Man, I was in front of him, and you know he gonna do that crossover. Yeah. You know he gonna do it. And I don't know when he gonna do it, but you gonna go for it every time. And I was kept going for it, bro. I was like, damn. I almost damn near cried after the game, like, damn. I was looking up. I kept my jersey on. Everybody showered, left. And I'm sitting there like, God, I ain't never got cooked like this.
He said shower, everybody left.
No, I actually, in all honesty, I thought it was that LeBron dunked on you when you moved out the way.
I'm trying to remember that play.
The one we looked at the other day.
Crazy, bro.
The one we saw the other day.
I was in the league before LeBron, though.
No, but I'm just saying, up until that point.
Oh, the one when I dunked on LeBron?
No, not that. Not that.
Oh, okay.
When he dunked on you, you moved.
Hey, we gotta do some homework on him. When did he get?
Oh, no,
Who is this shit, bro? We can't let him grill us like that.
I think I need to go back to his welcome to the
like,
league.
you know,
My welcome to the league moment was, did you play with LeVon Kirkland?
Curse?
LeVon Kirkland.
Nah.
So LeVon
Kirkland,
Kirkland was a linebacker, was about 6'3", 280.
Damn.
He played for the Eagles.
Nah, Kirkland, I wasn't, he was before
He
my
played
era.
for Pittsburgh, then he played for the Eagles.
Yeah, I remember.
I catch a hitch, Jack,
Yeah.
and I turn around. So when I catch a hitch, turn around, I'm gonna freeze everybody in high school, college.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take off, cut back against the grain. Everybody watching you because you're good.
Right.
Man, I must have caught the hitch. I turned around, and I faced up Bobby Taylor, and I hit him, and I thought I was getting ready to cut up against the grain, and he was tracing, hit me in my sternum and cracked it. to the point where I had to wear a donut the rest of the year. I'd never do that shit again. I said, I swear to God, I'll never do that again.
You cut your ass back inside?
Yeah,
You trying to cut back inside?
because in college, I can cut back inside. Because everybody watching me, they know I'm good, they looking, they fresh out of high school, they want to see what I'm doing.
Right.
In the pros, them dudes with them full beards with baby car seats, mad,
they
wife mad at them, the
money
girlfriend tripping, she might
child
tell
support.
child support.
They got
all that.
frustrations. They got real life frustrations.
You know this motherfucker, he was good in football too.
BD?
Yeah.
But he got a football body though.
No, listen, I used to watch him at Sidnell Field. Like Pop Warner.
Everybody thought I was gonna be a football player.
No, seriously. No.
What was
he
your-
played football too. He was he was real good.
Yeah, of course. Unlike you.
I'd have locked D-Jack up.
I see you kicking football. What was your welcome to the NBA moment?
A couple. My rookie year, I didn't start, so I came off the bench.
In Charlotte?
That's crazy.
In Charlotte, I was the third pick.
As a number 3 pick
Coaches
too?
be crazy.
Paul
as well.
Silas didn't start rookies.
Damn.
And I remember we was playing Utah, John Stockton.
Oh.
You know, you on the bench, you mad, like, man, put me in the game, man. Who the fuck is this dude? Man, I check in the game.
I know what you said.
Yeah, I'm checking in it because I'm looking at
but
him
you
like,
ain't saying, who is this dude? I know what you're saying, something other than that.
no, I ain't even tripping on. I'm like, this John Stockton? Like, he ain't that tall, he ain't that big.
He ain't what you thought he
like,
was.
yeah, I
And he
ain't
don't
what
look
I
like
said.
me, so I'm going to test him.
Man, I'm about to pick this dude up full, do all this. I check in the game, it's a free throw, right? They shoot the free throws. I go get the outlet pass, bro. I turn the outlet pass, he steal the ball. Boop.
All-time steals leader.
Get it steal, right? They score. I go down. Don't know what I'm doing. Come back. He dragged me all the way below the free throw line. Come out the pick and roll. Boom. Catch the ball off a loose ball. Go on a fast break. Put the ball right here, bro. I'm about to take off. He steal the ball.
Messing
Aaron
with
Davis,
the
come
all-time
sit your ass
steals leader.
down.
Got you out of there.
I think I tried to fire on John Stockton.
Oh, my God.
Did you really? Did you really try to fire on him?
I think I did. He called me a prick.
That sound like
But he took me under the screen.
Oh, he was a little dirty.
Hey, bro, he took me under the screen and grabbed me and boom, pushed me into my own big dude.
He was a little dirty. He had
You know what I
some,
mean? Like all them little tricks, he knew how to do
had
all
all
that
of that.
stuff.
So in y'all careers, all three of y'all, unlike me, I didn't have the opportunity to come full circle because I played mostly on the East Coast. Y'all had opportunities to come back to LA. Did y'all feel any pressure? Like, Paul, you was with the Clippers for a 2-year period of time. You wind up signing with the Clippers and you wind up signing with the Rams. D-Jack, did you feel like any added pressure coming home to I don't know, live up to others' expectations or whatnot?
Yeah, no, I think it was a perfect time for me to come home because when I was coming out, LA didn't have a team. So, you know, it took me, I think I was in year with like 12 or 13. It was like year 13. Me coming back to LA, I was more mature and I could handle it because if the young D-Jack would have got drafted to an LA team, it would have been bad. I'd have probably blew through all my money partying in the clubs, tripping, having homies everywhere. So I think for me, the only expectations I had was obviously I'm able to play in front of my home field. I mean, like where I grew up at. And that year was crazy for me because that's the year they won the Super Bowl and I left midway through that year in 2021. Because they brought me in to play a role because the year before that, they had Brandon Cooks and he was like doing all the deep stuff. So then he left and they replaced me, Sean McVay. He was with me in Washington. He called me, he was like, I need you to come fulfill that role. So I come. They used me a little bit. Then like midway through the season, they wasn't really using me no more. And I'm like, I went in his office. I'm like, Coach, what's up? Like, what we doing? And that's the year Cooper Kupp was going crazy. You know, you had him going bombs over Baghdad. I'm like, Cooper Kupp ain't even fast like that, but he getting down the field. He's like,
You want them.
I want them same
picks.
opportunity. Yeah, that's what I want, right? So I go to McVay. I'm like, Coach, what's up? What we doing? He was like, you know what? It's just not working out and blase. So the middle of that year, I ended up leaving to go on to play for Las Vegas Raiders. But I think for me, like during that time, it was cool because, you know, I moved back. I was living in Calabasas. I was away from, you know, the hood, and I was able to come focus.
What was it like coming back home for the Clippers, BD?
It was difficult. I thought it was gonna be like I knew it was gonna be tough. It was difficult though. I ain't gonna even lie, bro.
Hey, you didn't watch that new
documentary?
that new series?
I stopped watching that shit.
I ain't seen it.
I gotta start back watching it. Is it back home?
I ain't seen it. I ain't in that.
They got me in there.
Hell no, they ain't got me in there. No, fuck no, they ain't got me in there.
They got Blake Griffin looking.
Yeah, they ain't got me
They
in
fucked
there.
over Blake.
They don't want to know the real. They don't want to know the real.
He was in the middle of the thick of it.
Motherfucker.
I'm the one who was like, yo, bro, I can't do this. This dude is like, I'm the one who really said it.
He brought it to light.
You know what I mean? I'm the
for
one who,
real?
Yeah, when he was there, dude was yelling at him.
Hey,
in the
bro,
game.
he used to yell at me in the game, and I used to be like, hey, bro, if I catch this dude on the freeway, if I catch him, like, I used to be that hot.
But he wasn't calling you the N-word or nothing like that.
Bro, he was calling me all kind of other shit, bro. He was just, like, you don't talk, nobody in life has ever really talked to me like the way this man was talking
Really?
to me. I used to tell my teammates, hey, bro, run down the sideline, I'm gonna throw the ball and hit him in the head. They was scared as fuck. Hey, bro, just run down. You know, I was going, no look. Give him one. Boom. Nobody would do it. No,
That's
man,
the
they
first
gonna
I ever heard of this.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but, I mean, I came.
Who was the coach?
Mike Dunleavy.
Oh, Dunleavy was the coach.
Like, when I came, you know, Elton Brand, he was supposed to be here. Then he shook in the last
And then
2
went to
hours
Philly?
and went to Philly.
Yeah.
So that just kind of, like, discombobulated, like, the whole shit.
Wow.
And then I was like, man, give me 3 years with the Clippers. I can turn this shit around because that's what I did with the Warriors. And so, like, the Dunleavy era was difficult because I had never really played for a coach that was, like, tell you what to do all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's like being an artist and then, like, a teacher telling you, all right, you're going to paint this. This is how you're going to paint. Like, man, so it was no fun. And then, you know, Sterling, that shit was no fun. But then when Blake and DeAndre came, it started cracking. Like, that's how the whole Live City shit started, right? Because,
Shit, I
like,
don't
really,
even
I didn't
remember
care. I didn't care because now I had Blake and DeAndre. So, man, I get the ball, and I just throw the ball down the court, live, bang. And so, like, and then, Blake did the kid shit. But I thought, if I had 3 more years with the Clippers, I could have been on that team when you was coaching. You know what I mean? If I could have been on that team, like, that was kind of like the team I needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Damn, no,
I was like,
I'm
damn,
way
if I had
after.
these dudes, we could have got over the
I'm
hump.
way after because I was at the end.
Yeah.
I was at the end.
But it was like,
You wasn't even tripping.
It was in
though. You came
between
to
that.
this. You was stealing.
No, I wasn't, bro.
You was fucking stealing. Paul, stop that shit, man. Doc did you a favor just because he liked you. You liked him.
He's like player-
he came and
player
gave you some
coach.
money, like come hang out with us.
He was valuable.
Yeah, you was good. You averaged like 9 points in like 8 games or some shit.
Listen, dog. I just left Washington from calling game.
Okay, you had a lucky shot.
God,
He was in at the
now
end,
it's
Keyshawn.
lucky. Now
He
it's
had a lucky shot. He had
A
put the
lucky
ball down
shot.
on the ground with the headband.
Come on.
I know this shit.
Lucky shot.
This is what he was doing.
How many lucky shots I got like that then?
Washington at one. We didn't say Boston. I said Washington.
No, you could go to Brooklyn. You can go to
stop,
Boston.
Paul.
Every stop, bro.
You got benched in Brooklyn, but anyway,
All right,
did
listen,
you feel
go
anything?
to YouTube and go tonight.
Did
And
you feel
go
anything,
grab
though?
your tequila, go in your office, and put Paul Pierce game winners. It's gonna take you 13 minutes to get through this.
Did you feel anything?
That's a bar.
Did you feel anything?
No, because my whole mindset changed because I was ready to almost retire after Washington.
So you had retired, got it.
So like mentally, I was just like, it was like, all right, I'll come back to Washington for 1 more year because it was fun being around John and Bradley, kind of connecting them because they was going through whatever they was going through. So I was like kind of like the glue for them and help bring that team together. But they didn't offer, I think I wanted like a 2-year deal or something. They was like, well, we don't have the money. And I was just like, well, you know what, I ain't even really tripping off the money. I'm gonna go home with Doc because that's where my home was. And I was like, I'm gonna retire, build my businesses up so I can transition right into retirement. And that's all my time at the Clippers. It wasn't no pressure. It wasn't like, I invited everybody to the game so they could just be around.
Dude, when you look back at your career, obviously, you had an amazing-ass career, no question about it, from high school to college, Barron, all the way through, and then some, made tons of money, and just one of the greatest players to ever come out of LA in terms of NBA basketball, UCLA, whatnot. Do you feel like, though, because championships are key in the way people look at one's career, but do you feel a empty void that there isn't a championship hanging up at the crib?
He never had an
Absolutely.
opportunity, though.
Yeah, you gotta
You gotta have an opportunity.
Yeah, you
No,
gotta.
that's true. All that's true.
You
No,
definitely
you know
gotta.
what I'm
Have,
saying?
you
All
gotta
that's
have
true.
an opportunity anywhere, beginning or
Anywhere.
even at the end. And I never had that. But I look at basketball, and the way I looked at it coming in is like everybody are artists.
Yeah.
And the way you paint, the way you create your art is gonna define who you are when you walk in that room. And so the one thing I didn't wanna chase, or I didn't have an opportunity to chase, was a championship. And
Don't
so I'd
chase it.
rather have the respect of somebody like, yo, that BD was bad. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Or
fuck
the
that.
experience.
Right.
And then, you know, like to have a championship under your belt, great. But like there's also dudes on the team that's sorry as hell
They
that
got
win
championships.
championships.
Yeah,
You know what I
100%.
mean? So for me, it was
Yeah.
always like, I'm gonna lead this game as an artist. I'm gonna lead this game with the respect of my peers, and I'm gonna be able to walk in the room with all Hall of Famers, and they're gonna be like, yo, that's BD. And they know how I get
Right,
down.
right,
And
right.
so like
For
that's
sure that,
the,
for sure.
that's the ultimate level of like respect. Like
Yeah.
it's not even, there's no reward or award, right, that can actually credit you than
Yeah.
like, yo, what's the name? Dr. J. Magic know me. Isaiah know me. You know what I mean? George Gervin sitting next to me at the All-Star weekend. I grew up with Paul. Paul know me. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, basketball is really how you paint and the stories and the mark that you leave. And I feel like for me, I was, you know, I'm a one-on-one. You know
Yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure.
And
It's
like,
not even a question.
to like,
Yeah, for
One-on-one
sure.
is
like to
beyond.
brag or nothing, but like I created my own style, I created my own way of playing in a point guard way that, you know, sets me apart from any point guard because we don't play alike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the same thing I tell you when we be talking and they be like, Hall of Fame, that's cool, but I didn't play to get in the Hall of Fame. I played to get my mommy out of the streets and get my ass a bedroom. That's why I played. I didn't play for no other accolades. If they came, great. If I won a Super Bowl, great. But it was all about getting the bag, the money, and getting my mom her house and me a bedroom. That's what it was about. When you look at it,
but
DJ.
like after that, though, Key, because you got that the day one.
Yeah, but after that, though, even after, it didn't matter because that bag was small. That bag, that first bag,
Yeah,
that wasn't gonna take you to the end.
Yeah.
That's a small bag.
yeah.
You want to get to the second and the third bag, and then you want to parlay everything into your post career.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people questions are always asked. I say, I'll tell you what. It's a whole bunch of motherfuckers in the gold jacket world that I wouldn't trade my career
For theirs.
for theirs, but I promise you, they trade their career
To be
for
you.
mine and my post career.
Yeah.
That's the thought process,
Yep.
right? I mean, that's the way you look at it. Being able to hang out with you and eat sushi with you and you pay for it, they'll trade that all day long.
Yeah.
Because you paid for it. I had to pay for it last night. You paid for it. You see how I do it?
Yeah, man.
You got that ring with the Rams after 7 games, even though you went to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
When you look at that ring, how you feel, DeSean?
I mean, it's a bittersweet situation. I feel like, my brother be trying to get me to wear it. Like, man, show your ring off. I'm like, man, I ain't playing the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a part of the process. I went, all season workouts, training camp. Shit, we beat the defending champions the year before, which was Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The game I played, and I went crazy on them. So I made a big play, 75-yard touchdown in that game and helped win that game. But I don't know, it's really like, and I feel like this too, like at the end of the day, my career doesn't define a ring. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I feel like my numbers and everything I did, I feel like hopefully one day I can get in the Hall of Fame. I feel like, records I got, beating Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, like, some of the records I got is crazy. And I never even thought, a lot of that shit would have happened. So, I mean, like bro said, I feel like I'm a one-on-one, you know what I'm saying? Like coming in the
You
NFL,
for sure was a one-on-one.
my stature,
You a fast
being
motherfucker.
one of the best deep threats to ever play the game,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down in history, you know what I'm saying? So,
So what you gonna teach these kids at Delaware State now that you're the new head coach at Delaware State?
man, it's a blessing, man. I honestly, first and foremost, I just want to give a moment to just say how appreciative I am of the opportunity. I think, over the past 2 years, I'm freshly retired. So over the past 2 years, I've been trying to find my niche. And, one thing I would say, God don't make mistakes. This opportunity fell in my lap, man, and I wasn't even looking for it. Because I was having fun coaching high school. I was in Long Beach coaching high school with my older brother, who's been the head coach in high school for over the past 20 years. I sat back and really didn't really know my next steps, man. We speak, we holler, we don't really holler as much, but our relationship is there. But I really the past 2 years sat back and didn't really know what to do after retirement. Money good, family good, kids good, but to sit a whole year, and I feel like I deserved it because, a lot of people don't understand the hard work we put in when we're professional athletes, even before professional athletes, college, high school. So I feel like my track record, man, my dad and my brothers, that's all they did. Sports, workout, basketball, football, track. So it was on the go for me. So my first year off in 23, I sat back and I was like this at the house. I ain't do shit. I wasn't tripping off of work. I said, I deserve that. I owe that to myself. This past year, I said, I can't do it no more. I said, it's time to go get some income. Even though coaching high school wasn't even nothing crazy, but when I got out there, man, I regained another passion for the game. It was like I'm around the game. We're not going to get that feeling back no more. So for me, going on and coaching, it let me that void of me not playing no more, it helped because I'm able to get back to these young kids. All the information I got and everything I've been taught from Andy Reid to Sean McVay, I'm able to instill them back to these young kids. So I think for me, man, the sky's the limits, man. I got so much to pour into these young dudes. And, these young dudes nowadays is different. I'm sure we all, these young dudes, they different. And I just feel like I can't make you do anything, but I'm going to give you all the ingredients. And if you want to go where I've been or where I think you want to go, I got the ingredients for you. So, I'm excited for this, and it's gonna be hell of a
man, I don't do nothing but wish you the greatest luck all day long. Because when I see you in 2 years, and you look like you 80, then I'm going to know that probably wasn't that stress, or that coaching.
I ain't going to let it give me
I ain't
going to lie.
Then he going to have the grades he talking that shit. He going to have the grades because he's a competitor. He wants to win.
But you know what?
You know what I'm saying?
But one thing I've realized too, and the most coaches I respect, it's about the people you put around you. I can't be successful if I don't have great people around me. And I ain't never coached a day in college, but it ain't never been about.
But even though you ain't coached in college, you played at the highest level and did it at the highest level. It potentially could be in the Hall of Fame. There is no teaching.
Yeah, no, for sure.
There is none.
No,
I tell people all the time. They go, oh, he never coached before.
Yeah.
Motherfucker coach every time he's on the field.
Right.
Yeah.
He's coaching.
For sure.
Baron Davis, every time Baron Davis dribbled the ball up the court, he was coaching.
Right.
Every time Paul Pierce got in them stands with them little ass shorts on, he coaching. It's the truth.
Nah, for sure.
You always coaching.
Nah, definitely, man. So
you didn't become great just because you woke up one day.
Right.
You had to get there
study,
by doing something.
Yep.
So that's coaching.
Definitely, man.
I can't wait, though. Me and Paul, we going to be there. We going.
Yeah,
I don't know what game.
We pulling up November.
We pulling up.
I got you. I mean, too, I got
Don't be acting all funny and shit when we call.
I'm going to act like you for
field
your
passes.
restaurant. No, I'm going to be like him for his restaurant. He ain't dressed right. You can't get in.
Yeah, you got to have the
get
team
on
colors.
BD,
You
man.
got to have the team colors on. You can't be rocking the other team shit.
SC jerseys and shit.
Real.
I'm neutral. Nah, I ain't no neutral.
But what I was going to say, too, just to wrap my little piece up, I feel like, Coach Prime, man, I can't stress enough about how he's opened doors up for guys like myself. We talked about Michael Vick being in Norfolk. We played this year, so, just being able to learn from guys like him that's been in the HBCU when he was at Jackson State, now he at Colorado, this is a stepping stone for me. Obviously, I want to come there. They only won 2 games in the past 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming into a situation I can't do no worse. And I'm a bet on myself. Ain't no shoe too big for me to fill.
Right.
So with that being said, I feel like the foundation is set. It's just on me to put certain, around and get to, we got to get it on.
That's the crazy
Two
thing.
games in 2
Get it on.
years?
2 games in 2 years.
The crazy thing, though, is he really going to be successful, though.
Yeah.
Nah,
That's what
that.
the people don't really understand.
Hey, one of my favorite coaches said too, and we on the podcast, so I'm going to say what I say. He said, it ain't even about coaching. He said, get good fucking players.
Yeah, good player.
At the end of the day, I mean, shit, this coach shit is cool, but if you got the good players,
the talent,
X's and O's don't read nothing. You got the Willie and the Joes.
You feel me?
That's the real talk.
Yes, sir.
Man, I appreciate y'all joining this LA Legacy, man. This is I'm not gonna cry, but
This was lit though. No, this
without
it's history right here, man. This LA right here.
This
This is
foundation.
OG,
This
yeah.
foundational.
no,
Sure.
this is legit. This is
For like the LA.
We gotta do more.
real
We gotta do more of this.
For the sports.
We gotta
sure.
do more of this. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
this
saying?
is
Like,
dope.
we tend to miss opportunities and certain things, but this one here, I really appreciate, obviously, Paul and you, D-Jack and BD, Baron Davis. If y'all don't know that, it is just, it's real. It is what it is. It's a rap. You want some more water?
Yeah, I'll take some for the road, bro.
We absolutely hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more from us, hit that subscribe button for all videos, full episodes, and exclusive content from the show. And don't forget to find All Facts, No Breaks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.